9. T-90M tank. Russian President Vladimir Putin claims that the T-90M main battle tank is the best in the world. While that's disputable, it's definitely the best tank currently in service with the Russian military. Designed to replace the T-72, the T-90 entered service in 1992. Since then, several more variants have been produced, including the T-90M, a heavily upgraded version of the T-90 that made its debut in 2017. Built for a 3-person crew, this $5 million machine is equipped with a radar-absorbent material called nakitka, giving it an advanced stealth capability. The tank's main armament consists of a 125mm smoothbore tank gun, which has a maximum range of 3.7 miles. Modern T-90s have a computerized fire control system, which helps to improve shooting accuracy and range compared to Russia's standard tank guns. Russia has a long history of keeping its cards close to its chest, which means that the rest of the world's knowledge of the T-90M's capabilities is admittedly limited. After the Ukraine war broke out in 2022, Western intelligence officials discovered an abandoned T-90M on the battlefield. It was found in good condition and was shipped to the US so experts can analyze its technology. This could help Western governments and NATO plan to make sure their tanks are more advanced than Moscow's best tank. Experts have speculated that Russia doesn't have as many T-90 tanks as it's claimed in the past. Throughout the ongoing war, it's become evident that Russia appears to be at a tank shortage altogether, given its continued reliance on outdated Soviet-era equipment. People were even more confused to discover in late 2022 that a Russian mercenary unit called the Wagner Group was in possession of several T-90 tanks. As a group that isn't officially recognized or given military status, it didn't make sense for them to be using some of Russia's most expensive and advanced vehicles rather than an elite Russian unit. And Moscow has refused to explain the situation, leaving a big question mark on the issue for now. 8. Tsar Bomber. During the Cold War arms race, the Soviet Union set out to build a nuclear weapon with one main goal: to develop design principles for building a device of practically unlimited power. The end result was a 60,000-pound explosive measuring 26 feet long and nearly 7 feet in diameter. Nicknamed the Tsar Bomber and known by its official designation as AN-602, the project was carried out in 1961 under the order of Soviet Premier Nikita Khrushchev. Less than 3 months later, the Tsar Bomber was dropped from an airplane over the Russian Arctic. The device was released at an altitude of around 34,500 feet, and it self-detonated at roughly 13,000 feet. It was the most powerful nuclear weapon ever created and tested. After being given a 50% chance of surviving the mission, the plane's crew managed to complete their assignment and fly safely back to base. The explosion created a flash so bright that it could be seen from as far as 620 miles away, including in Norway, Greenland, and parts of Alaska. Put it into perspective, the bomb was more than 1,570 times more powerful than the Hiroshima and Nagasaki bombs combined. Windows were shattered as far as 480 miles from the blast, and the mushroom cloud penetrated the stratosphere at a height of 42 miles. Every building on the Russian island of Severny was destroyed, leaving an entire village homeless, and the island the bomb was dropped on was completely leveled. According to experts, the Russians didn't develop the Tsar Bomber for any practical reason. Its main purpose was supposedly to demonstrate the Soviet Union's capabilities to the United States and to make the Americans nervous. And it definitely succeeded in doing so. 7. 3M22 Zircon. In recent years, the United States has experimented with hypersonic weapons, which travel at speeds of at least Mach 5, or 5 times the speed of sound. But Russia has invested much more time and energy in hypersonic development, and weapons that once seemed like something out of a sci-fi movie are becoming real things. One of Putin's current projects is the 3M22 Zircon, an anti-ship hypersonic cruise missile that'll soon become a fixture on certain Navy ships and submarines. Measuring roughly 2 feet in diameter, the 30-foot-long missile supposedly has a firing range of up to 620 miles. It reaches a maximum speed of Mach 9, or around 6,900 miles per hour, so fast that the air in front of it turns into plasma as it's sucked into the missile. The Zircon flies much lower than conventional missiles, reaching altitudes of up to 17 miles. Simply put, the weapon's purpose is to hit targets really far away, and to approach them with such speed that it would be virtually impossible for the target to enact countermeasures to stop it from striking. Even the most advanced American bases wouldn't be safe from it. Testing began in early 2020, and in early 2023 Putin revealed that the Zircon had officially entered service. He also announced that the development of a land-based version of the weapon was officially underway. When do you think we'll see the land version in completion? Let us know what you think in the comments and hit subscribe while you're at it. 6. Sukhoi S-70 Okhotnik B. In 2019, Russia's Ministry of Defense announced the successful flight of its first unmanned aerial combat vehicle. Known as the Sukhoi S-70 Okhotnik B and nicknamed the Hunter, the vehicle is an autonomous drone designed to drop precision-guided bombs at long ranges without a pilot. It somewhat resembles the American-made B-2 stealth bomber. The Hunter was first spotted by the public in 2019 during a test flight outside the Siberian city of Novosibirsk. Later that year, Vladimir Putin announced that the project was moving on schedule. With no need for a cockpit or equipment for performing life-saving functions on pilots, the Okhotnik has far more room for weapons. Its capabilities aren't fully known, but it appears to be built and equipped with technology that's been around for a while and which is already being used in many Western countries. But Russia's development of the drone and other weapons shows that the country places a high priority on catching up with its adversaries. When the second Okhotnik prototype made its debut in late 2021, officials said that they hoped for the vehicle to be finished by the end of 2022. But it may have been put into service sooner, based on media reports from July of 2023. Photos of the drone appeared on Ukrainian Telegram channels, according to the country's armed forces, which claimed that the weapon in question had been used to destroy multiple military sites. It's impossible to say for sure whether the object photographed in the sky is the Hunter drone, but it appears to match the size and dimensions of the Hunter. According to the most recent official updates, 2 vehicles were still in the testing phases. 5. RS-28 Sarmat. Dubbed Satan II by some Western journalists, the RS-28 Sarmat is a super-heavy intercontinental ballistic missile, or ICBM, which will allegedly be capable of flying over either the North or South Pole and striking anywhere in the United States. Vladimir Putin announced its development along with 5 other superweapons in 2018. The RS-28 Sarmat's first test flight was carried out in 2020. It was slated to enter service in 2022, but the project fell behind schedule in June of 2023, and Putin announced that the weapon would be ready for development soon. According to Russia's claims, the RS-28 Sarmat will be capable of carrying 10 or more nuclear warheads. Its boost phase will make it harder for satellites and infrared sensors to detect the missile, which therefore means it'll be difficult to intercept an incoming weapon. Sources claim that the RS-28's launch sites will be equipped with an active protection system consisting of weapons that will automatically intercept incoming missiles at altitudes of up to 3.7 miles. Putin hailed the missile as a key component of his triad system of nuclear weapons, which will enable the country to launch nuclear force from land, sea, and air. 4. The KH-47M2 KINOW air-launched ballistic missile was developed as part of Russian President Vladimir Putin's vision of having a triad of hypersonic missiles that can launch from air, land, and sea. It's also one of the 5 so-called super weapons that Putin unveiled in 2018 as he leads Russia into a new generation of warfare. Measuring 3.9 feet in diameter, the 23.5 feet long KINOW is capable of hitting both static and moving targets, and was designed specifically with NATO ships in mind. When factoring in the combat range of the delivering aircraft, the missile has a range of 1,200 to 1,900 miles. It can travel at speeds of up to Mach 10, or 10 times the speed of sound. The KINOW entered service in 2017, and American officials have admitted that the existing radar technology is incapable of detecting and tracking hypersonic weapons. And Putin has shown, based on his actions in Ukraine, that he's perfectly willing to resort to hypersonic force if it seems necessary. Russia's claims about the KINOW's capabilities were called into question in June of 2023, after Ukrainian fighters claimed to have intercepted 6 missiles overnight using the American-made Patriot surface-to-air missile system. On the same night, Russia claimed that it had destroyed a Patriot defense system. US officials conceded that the Patriot was damaged but described the damage as minimal. During a subsequent interview with The Economist, the Ukrainian military members who operated the Patriot said that the KINOW missile speed clocked in at around Mach 3.6, roughly 1/3 of what Putin claims they're capable of. But the KINOW is an extremely dangerous weapon either way, and it would be best to never observe its capabilities firsthand. 3. Poseidon Torpedo. In early 2023, Russian state-sponsored news agency TASS announced the successful development of a pair of nuclear-powered, nuclear-armed, very long-range torpedoes. Known as Poseidon Torpedoes, they're reportedly capable of causing massive tsunamis and destroying entire coastal cities. Also called Canyon, Ocean Multi-Purpose System, and Status 6, the missile is designed to be launched from submarines. It's supposedly capable of reaching speeds of up to 115 miles per hour and has a 6,200-mile range. Designed to evade detection by acoustic tracking devices, the Poseidon can reportedly operate at depths of up to 620 feet. Knowledge of its true capabilities are limited. Some experts estimate that the weapon could yield anywhere from a handful to 100 megatons, and most agree that it was built, but its existence remains unconfirmed. The modifications Russia's been making to its submarines suggests at the very least that the Poseidon's developers are planning for it to be a success. There are reportedly plans in the works to develop 30 of the missiles. 2. Isander. Russia's development of a mobile short-range ballistic missile system called the 9K720 Isander began during the 1970s. The surface-to-surface weapon went into production during the late 1980s, and it entered service in 2006. It reaches speeds of up to Mach 7, or 7 times the speed of sound, and has a 310-mile range. While traveling to its target, the missile climbs to altitudes of up to 31 miles. There are several variants of the Isander, which is capable of firing both ballistic and cruise missiles, and can carry either ballistic or conventional warheads. It was first used in combat during the 2008 Russo-Georgian War, a 5-day conflict that pitted the former Soviet countries against one another in the midst of a diplomatic crisis. For countries within the firing range of the Isander, it would be fair to consider the system a threat. And while America is not within the firing range of the Isander, the US has vested interest in countries that Russia is on bad terms with, including Ukraine, and the thought of American allies being attacked is certainly a discomforting one. In June of 2023, the Ukrainian military claimed to have shot down 10 Isander missiles that were shot toward the country overnight. Russia has repeatedly attacked Ukraine with short-range missiles throughout the ongoing war, but it's probably fair to say that Putin's not seeing the level of success he predicted. 1. 9M729 missile system. Signed in 1987, the Intermediate Nuclear Forces INF Treaty bans all land-based missiles with a range between 310 and 3,400 miles. In 2014, the United States began to suspect Russia of violating the INF with the development of the Novitar 9M729 land-based missile system. Measuring somewhere between 20 and 26 feet long, it's believed to have a 1,243-mile range when equipped with a conventional warhead weighing 1,100 pounds. Little is known about the 9M729. Officials speculate that developments on the system began in the mid-2000s, and the testing began as early as 2008. In 2017, after multiple failed talks with Russian officials, then US President Donald Trump went public with allegations of Russia's INF violation. There is a clause in the INF treaty that allows certain missile systems to be tested on land if they're being designed for the Navy or Air Force. According to former US Director of National Intelligence Dan Coates, Russia was trying to use this clause to legitimize its development of 9M729. By the time news of the system was publicly announced, Washington believed that it could be ready for deployment. In October 2018, the US withdrew from the INF treaty. A few months later, Russia displayed the new system in what it claimed was a display to show the country is complying with the agreement. Thanks for watching. Which one of Russia's weapons scares you the most? Let us know in the comments below and don't forget to subscribe. See you soon. Bye.